Good morning everyone, welcome back to Lily Lulu. My name's Karen and I'm popping on today. I'm going to make some little mini notebooks or mini journals just to keep in my stash, because I've got a few journals that I need to make over the coming weeks. So I thought I'd start making some ephemera to pop in them. Now I'm going to make these, I've got all of these scraps of card, so I thought they would make nice little covers. And then I've got scraps of tea dyed paper, avocado dyed paper. I've got some sort of plainish papers of different sorts here, all scraps. And I've also got a pile here of some printed papers or scrapbooking papers and things to use, and some baking paper. I say they're all leftovers from things I've been making recently, so I thought I would try and reduce my pile of scraps and make something useful out of them. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So first of all, in my while I was going through sorting all these out, I found these 3 pieces of card that I have already cut down and folded into sort of little notebook type things. So I might use those, but I'm not going to be doing any measuring or anything today. The only thing I need to make sure of is, if I fold this into a notebook, then obviously the pages that are going inside need to be small enough to fit in. But other than that, I'm not, doing any accurate measuring or whatever. I'm just going to use the pieces of card I've got as a guide for the size of the books I'll be making. So I don't know if I'm going to be decorating any of them today, because as I say, I want to keep them in my stash to use for journals that I'm going to be making. So I may leave them undecorated so that I can tailor them to the journals that I'm going to be making. So we'll see how we get on. So might start with these bigger ones first of all. So if I take one of these, now that's not quite big enough. And this one would be, I don't really want to start. Right, I'm going to keep these to one side because they're a bit big for the scraps I've got. So I might use 4 sheets of tea dye papers in those, or I might come back to those in a minute. I'll see how I go. So I think I will probably need my bone folder, and I'll definitely need a ruler so that I can tear some of these down. So let's go first of all for one of these. Now I'm going to have to take that edge off, obviously. So excuse me if my head goes under the camera. Obviously it's a bit further away from me than I would normally be working. Normally I'd pull this right in towards me, but if I do that, I'll be off camera. You won't be able to see what I'm doing. So let's see, what sort of size do we want? I think I may cut that roughly in half. I wonder if that's square, that piece. What I mean, I don't mean a square shape, I mean has it been cut straight. So having said I'm not going to measure, that's a 12-inch piece, so I'm going to just cut that in half. Because I want these booklets to be quite small. So I'm just wondering if I should score, just to make sure. I've got my washing machine on again. I do apologise for any noise in the background. I'll sort that out in a minute. As I say, I didn't actually plan to film today, but I had the idea to do this, so thought I'd just turn the camera on, and I've already got the washing machine on this morning, so sorry about that. If you can hear it, but I'm not sure if you can hear it or not actually. when I've looked at my videos back, I haven't overly noticed it, but then I wasn't actually listening out for it, so I don't know if it's noticeable or not. I'll have to check when I load this one up. Right, some of these, they're a bit long and strippy. We need to do some long strippy ones with those, or maybe some matchbook type booklets, but let's see how big that would need to be. So I'm just folding this so it's slightly less width-wise than the card I've just folded. I just rip those down, and then obviously that's going to be too long, so again we want it slightly shorter than the height of the little cover. So that's that piece, and of course I'm making more strips in the process. So I'll fix this. I don't mind if these papers are not you know, all the same size, but obviously I need one as a template to make sure that the other ones will fit in. So that's these are just tea-dyed lined paper. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but it's just a normal writing, you know, lined refill pad that I've tea-dyed. I've got some avocado dyed paper here that has torn, so I could use some of that maybe. Where's my template? That one. So if I go, actually if I tear where the tear is, so I'm sure you've all seen people make these before. It's nothing new, nothing very exciting. As I say, I just thought I'd turn the camera on while I'm doing these, just to say hello, because as I mentioned in my last video, I've got quite a busy weekend ahead, well, busy couple of weeks really, so I will possibly not be able to come on and film very much, so I thought I'd make the most of this opportunity while it's here. That's just some plain tea-dyed paper, so that's short enough, so we'll have one of those. So I hope everybody's well, and got some nice plans for the Easter weekend. I've got my eldest daughter and her family coming on Saturday, so that I can see the grandchildren and give them their Easter prezzies. And then on Sunday, I think my other two daughters and their boyfriends are having a games night here, so my eldest may well come along to that as well. And then on Monday, I'm having everybody here for Easter dinner. It should have been on Easter Sunday, but my husband has to work, so we're having it on Monday instead. So I will have my two youngest here with their partners, and my husband and my mum. So I think I've got too many now for that little booklet. Oh, but I have got two, haven't I? So I can do two at once. Oh, let's fold that the other way. Let's have a different one. Yeah, so and then obviously my two daughters are home from uni for a couple of weeks, although they will both be working, so they'll be coming and going. So we've got 1, 2, I think I've only got one of these plain ones, so I might just do another one of those. Let's check that in a sec. on each in there. Oh, that's not very straight, is it? Let's even that up a bit. Yeah, so as I say, I've got a busy busy couple of weeks and an extremely busy weekend because I've got to be cooking and baking and all sorts of things. So my eldest daughter and her family are all vegan and my youngest two are not. So whatever I make, I have to do 2 versions of. Well, I don't have to, but it's just nice to, you know, give everybody what they want or need in my eldest daughter's case. So they fit in there quite nicely. I think I fancy a bit of baking paper in these as well. So I might just chop some of that up and stick it in. So I've got a bit of a crinkle going on in there as well. Yeah, I think I need a bit more in there anyway. So yeah, that's going to be my busy few days. So what's everyone else got planned? I'm also, I don't know if I've mentioned before, I have a very anxious dog. He was a lockdown puppy, and so we got him at the beginning of the summer in 2020. And he was fine at the beginning. We took him, you know, it was just as we were coming out of the first lockdown, which we thought was perfect. And we took him everywhere with us. He was absolutely fine, normal little puppy. And then I hurt my back. So for 6 weeks, we didn't really go anywhere or do anything. And that led into the second lockdown. So obviously we were at home. Nobody was coming to the house. When we did take him out, you know, there was no other people about, no other dogs about very much. And he's developed generalised anxiety. So I took him to be assessed, and he had a one-to-one training session last week, and then I also went on to a training seminar to see how we can help him. So that's why, you know, sometimes if I'm filming and he barks in the background, I have to turn the camera off, because usually once he starts, he goes into one and doesn't stop. So at the moment I'm sitting here with the blinds closed in the living room, which is behind me. I'm sitting in the kitchen looking out the back door, and luckily we've got double French doors there. But the living room, we have a settee under the window, and obviously he can see people going past and he gets very worked up. And so we've got to try for a while to limit the amount of stuff that sets him off, to try and reduce his cortisol levels, to bring his stress levels down. So I'm hoping it's not too dark because I'm filming, because as I say, I've got the blinds in the other room closed, and this is all open plan, so half the room's in darkness and half isn't. Right, so what did I have here now? I've got two lined ones there, so two lined ones there, and that was another plate that didn't have a plain one, so that's going in there. So there's my first 2 little booklets. I might play around with the orders of the papers, but what I'm going to do is take them to my sewing machine and just stitch down the middle there. Now, as I said before, I can't do that on camera, but there's our first 2 done. And I might have to, you know, neaten up the pages, but I think that's enough in each little booklet, because they're just going to go in a little pocket or something in a journal, so I don't want them to be too bulky. So I'll probably just do that first couple on camera, because you've seen what I've done and how I've done it. So I'll take these to my sewing machine now and stitch them, and then I'll come back and show you how they look once they're all stitched in. Hello, I'm back again. Right, as you can see, I've stitched all of these together now. I've just run a line of stitching down the centre of the little wad of papers. So I'm just going to burnish those now, just to help everything lay flat. As you can see on the back here, my machine has made a bit of a mess. Probably something to do with tension, but I am not by any means an expert when it comes to sewing machines, so I will probably just pop something on there to cover that up, a bit of washi tape or a bit of lace or something. But as I say, you don't want these to be perfect. You know, this is junk journaling we're doing. So it doesn't need to be perfect. That's what adds to the character. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So that's that one. And then I think I'm just going to round the corners on these as well. So that one's not as bad, but if you did these, you know, as a mass make, you sort of cut all your covers down to size, ripped all your papers to size, got into a bit of a flow. These don't take very long to make at all. I'm not sure how long I've been filming, but you know, I've got a couple of little booklets there ready to go in not very long at all. So nice, quick, easy crafting session today, and the beginnings of my little ephemera stash for my next lot of journals. I've got to make, well, I want to make, shouldn't say I've got to. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got a couple of birthday journals to make in the pipeline. One's for a 70th birthday, and one is going to be a woodland journal for a friend of mine. And then I gave you a whole list the other day of journals I would like to make. Sounds like a title of a book, doesn't it? Journals I would like to make. And I've still got the Peter Rabbit journal to finish. That's just a case of going through and seeing what other ephemera bits I need to make. In fact, one of these may go in there, thinking about it, because I know I've used some of this in that book. So yeah, I've got that one to finish, and I also have my daughter's engagement journal to finish, which I keep asking her to give back to me so that I can finish it. I see there, that edge, I don't know if you can see on camera, but because the card was slightly torn, I haven't got a nice neat edge there. But again, I'm not too worried about that. If it really does bother me, I can stick something there to disguise that, or even if I just ink the edges up, that will help disguise that. So yes, I've got my daughter's engagement journal to finish that I keep asking her to bring back to me, and it hasn't come back yet, so obviously I can't do that until I have it in my possession. So I've got quite a lot of little jobs on the go. So there's my two little booklets that I've made today, which I think are very cute. Again, that one's just slightly too long there where it hasn't torn cleanly, so I'll just tidy that up a bit by scruffily tearing it off. So these can be, you know, tucked into a pocket or a tuck spot. So you've got a bit more journaling space. They could be little gifts for people. Keep that in your handbag as a little notebook to use when you're out and about. Obviously, I will decorate the fronts of these when I put them in the journals, so that they coordinate with whichever journals I use them in. But that's the idea. That's what I'm going to be doing now for the rest of my crafting session today. So I hope you found this interesting and useful, and thank you for joining me. And I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye bye.